Yeah, page 2. Right, does everyone have it open?
Yep.
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 Cool. I'm kind of regretting writing something so long, but here we go. So the situation is as follows. The Republic of Georgia has recently been in a state of conflict due to rebel activities around the country. As many areas have been devastated by conflict in the region, they have reached out to Blue Forces for humanitarian aid. And about a week ago, while on a peacekeeping mission on the town of Merjevi, Blue Forces were engaged in a peacekeeping mission, were ambushed by overwhelming insurgent forces, and they were forced to retreat after taking heavy losses. Additionally, nearby air bases belonging to the Republic of Georgia were simultaneously raided with the use of fourth-generation aircrafts, which they were not known to possess, and intel suggests that these were supplied by Red forces looking to destabilize and gain territory in the region. So our goal today is for the Blue Four. Correction. Blue Four has decided to provide military assistance to Georgia and lead a series of operations to both liberate the occupied territory in the country and also display a show of force to intimidate Redford into backing off. So, moving on to our main objective. Firstly, we will have the air, air flight hunt down an AOX in disputed territory to achieve air superiority. Then we'll move on to having the air ground flight conduct a seat and strike an ammunitions production facility. And finally, we'll be providing close air patrol and also close air support to ground forces. We'll be pushing back into Majevi to liberate it from the occupying forces. So, moving on to page 3. These are just for your information. They are AI flights, which will be helping us in this mission. Firstly, we have Uzi flight, which are F-18s. They're going to push off first and fly into the AO of the enemy AOX to draw some escort planes away from it to minimize resistance to Dodge flight's mission. Pontiac flight will be just the standard F-15s covering a friendly AWACS in the air. So finally, Grizzly flight will be ground units stationed south of the town of Rajabi and will begin moving in once Cold Flight has destroyed the storage facility and arrived on station to provide cast. They will also be escorted by player-controlled helicopters, which will be Fort. So, moving on, page 4.
Page 4, Roger.
So, Dodge Flight, your goal today is cap and intercept. So, firstly, you'll be traveling along a predetermined flight plan. You'll be flying low, preferably less than 500 feet AGL, into mountainous terrain and use it as cover to avoid radar detection by the enemy. And at the end of your waypoint, you'll be popping up to conduct a long-range strike on an enemy AWACS believed to be an A-50. So after you take out the AWACS, you're to dive and go defensive, as there might be additional enemy air threats in the area, specifically north. So do not try to commit and take them all out, as your main objective is to destroy the AWACS. And finally, you'll be pushing off to Bullseye and linking up with Cold Flight to provide cap for them in the area. So your waypoints, once your initial entry into the low altitude flight plan, waypoints 2 to 7 will be indicated to you by message triggers and also your flight lead. And waypoint 8 is where you'll begin climbing to Angels 2 once you have a visual on the first two snowy mountains. You'll see what I'm talking about. These are just visual clues. And finally, waypoint 9 will be your target vector, or where the AWACS will be predicted to be traveling. So take a note, the flight is to remain at the lowest possible altitude at all times, and make use of terrain whenever possible to avoid being detected by radar, and close the distance before popping up and taking the A-15 being detected by radar. And like I said earlier, the F-18s will first take off and lure the enemy escorts away from the aircraft. And also turn your radar off and keep as low as possible until you're prompted at waypoint 8. Any questions so far?
No, sounds good.
So, if we just follow the river, we should be right, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So if we just follow the river, we should be right.
And from you'll you'll also be guided by message triggers so you don't get lost. But yeah, the main idea is follow the river
it's just that
so
after
you don't get
waypoint
lost.
3, I'm gonna have to get Jesse to manually enter each one. Waypoint 3, I'm gonna have to get Jesse to
what do you
manually
mean?
enter each one.
Waypoint 3, still 3 waypoints.
Oh, all right. So yeah, don't worry about it. And if that's the case, just follow your flight lead. And you're right. The
Copy.
main idea is to follow the. Right. Any more?
I'm good.
Great. So move on to co-flight on page 6. Great.
So
So move on
today
to
co-flight
co-flight
on
on page 6, starting up, and you'll hold short
today
of the
co-flight
runway
on
after Dodge flight has taken off. So just take note after stay on the ground and wait until the enemy AWACS has been destroyed, or at least left the area before taking off. And next you'll be conducting a seat or strike on a hostile ammunition production facility in the marked as waypoint 1. And after you're done, you'll be pushing to waypoint 2 or bullseye to provide cast for Grizzly. Waypoints are as follows. And note, the intel reports of possible active radar SAM sites in place somewhere in the vicinity of waypoint 1 and 2. So those that are going to do helping with seat, take the lead. And if you're spiked, you feel free to use the terrain as cover. And once ground units or Grizzly begins moving, you're cleared to engage any targets you deem will be a threat, but minimize collateral as much as possible as you'll be fighting in the nearby a town. And finally, if you're unsure if the unit is friendly or hostile, you either radio into AWACS for some talk on, or you can communicate with the rotary guys. And as for assistance, since they'll be flying close to the units, page 7's your waypoints, just 2 simple ones. Right, page 8, finally, forward flight, which will be rotary support today. So you're to await at the helipad until Grizzly has started moving. You'll be prompted by a message trigger. Same thing. So you are to provide escort for the convoy moving into the town. Keep an eye out for patrols and potential threats in the area, and take it out as soon as possible. So take note, if you are overwhelmed either by enemy air forces or ground units, feel free to seek assistance from Coat or Dodge Flight by communicating with them on their respective radio channels. Or you can just send a message to AWACS. And also be aware that enemies have taken a hold of Jordan assets, and so there's a chance of seeing them being used in battle. You only have one waypoint, the town of Merjavi. So,
All right.
page 10. These are your flight groups for.
Did Cam arrive? No, he hasn't arrived.
Not online as well.
Alright, and I think Seance hasn't arrived as well, so Banana, you'll be alone for a bit. Hopefully he shows up.
Hmm.
Oh, and Banana, take a note that since you signed up for a rotary flight, you're gonna have to wait a bit before being able to take off. But if you like, you can, because you initially signed up as sorry. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to wait a bit before you can take off. But
Affirm.
before then, if you want to take a fixed wing role with Cass, that's fine as well.
Okay. No, I can't do CAS. I have yet to learn the thingies. So I'll stick with the QE.
All right, but if you change, I mean, before you're able to take off on the helicopter, if you want to take a either air to air or air to ground aircraft and fly with the group, you can do so and change to your specified rotary aircraft once it's ready to move off. But I'll leave it up to you.
All right.
So moving on page 11, these are the radio comms. Well, honestly, I left it blank so we can decide now not to have any issues. Do you guys have any suggestions?
For cold flight, I believe 250 worked last time. Is that correct?
Right,
Okay.
and the rotaries.
Looks like getting on those targets pretty determined to have 251 for dodge flight.
Right, and what about the rotary? Do you guys have a specific frequency you like?
I can do 264.
Cool, and 264 it is. And I'll leave the main as 129. Can everyone access it?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah, has been our
Okay.
frequency for a few missions. We hadn't had any issue yet, I think.
Awesome. So finally, on page 12, these are the summarized main objectives for today. Firstly, destroy the enemy A-50, strike the ammunition depot, provide cap, and finally cover Grizzly, who will be moving in to liberate Majevi. That's it. That's it from me for the briefing. Any questions?
That was a very good briefing. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, no questions here.
Our tasking is pretty straightforward, my guys. If you have any questions, you can come to me and we'll figure out. But if we have any questions, we'll call command on the one channel.
Hey, from so if everyone's ready, let's just log into the server. Remember to change your names to fit on the page 10, just for simplicity.
Yeah, before you even join the server, boys, make sure you got your names right. If you don't have your names right, we will ask you to quit and come back with your names correct.
So for clarification, my call sign today will be called one, but
Affirm.
okay.
Just your call sign followed by your name.
So okay. So how is the? Can you put the example of a just change my name there, Murdoch, and just have an example, so people know exactly what's the format. Go to page 10, boys, and have a look. Just gonna have an example there. So essentially, it's gonna be. You guys see there on the line Murdoch's name? That's how you're gonna have your call sign first, and then your name.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Where'd the briefing go?
It's on the internet. Alright, start logging the server, boys, and I will do a mission start as soon as everyone is good to go. You guys there?
Yeah.
Still
Well,
searching
I'm going to
for
change
the
my name
server, yeah.
first. Because, yeah.
Everyone was so quiet.
The server list for me is like a lottery. Every time I refresh, I get something. I mean, is this server up?
Yep.
Yep.
Were you able to find it?
Yeah, just my luck with a refresh. Okay. This time I didn't find anything from that. I tried. Oh, there.
You can mark the server as a favorite by starring it.
Yeah,
Mic test.
I already did that for all the data servers, but if they don't show up in the list for me, that is not good. If they don't show up in the list for me, that is not good. If they don't show up in the list for me, that is not good. If they don't show up in the list for me, that is not good. If they don't show up in the list for me, that for me, that for me, that
Alright, let's start the shit.
for me, that
Alright, let's start the shit.
for me, that
I'm already in the server. Can I take an aircraft?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's on active pause.
Right. Matfish, were you able to find the server?
Yes. It was under my desk.
That's good that you didn't lose it.
Did I miss anything?
Nope. Is everyone ready? And I'm gonna start the mission.
I'm ready.
Cool. And I'm pausing it. Have fun.
Dodge 1, ready check 129er.
Overlord's got 2555 on 129er.
Copy that, Dodge 1, starting up in 10 minutes.
Request rearming. Copy. Rearming complete.
Dodge 1, checking in 251 and 1 on this frequency.
251 banana, 5 by 5.
Dodge 355.
Copy that, let us know when you guys are ready for room.
Ready to check 251, Wolfman.
Copy that, Wolfman, and load and clear 251.
Copy, bloody perimeter. Dodge 3, ready to check 129er. Overlord's got you 5 by 5 on 129er. Overlord Dodge 3 on station.
Colt 4 checking at 129er.
Overlord, leave my Charlie 129er.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Dodge 5 ready to taxi.
Copy, Dodge 5.
Code 1 checking in on 129er. Dodge 3's got a long alignment time.
Copy that. Dodge 1 to overload.
Send for overlord.
Dodge 1 has technical issues. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Copy, free mics.